Every time Leo spoke English, he was doing two jobs at once. First, he thought of what he wanted to say in his own language, then he translated it into English, then he said it. By the time the words came out, the conversation had already moved on. He was always one step behind. He had been doing this for 4 years, and he was exhausted. He thought this was just how it worked. It was not. Here is what was actually happening. Leo had learned English as a subject. Grammar rules, vocabulary lists, reading exercises, written tests, everything he had ever done in English had gone through his native language first. He saw a new English word, he looked up the translation, he remembered the translation, so every English word in his brain had a native language word attached to it. When he wanted to speak, he started in his native language, found the word, pulled out the English translation, and said it. This process took time. Too much time for a real conversation. Think about how a child learns their first language. They do not translate. They cannot. They have no other language to translate from. They hear the word apple, and they see an apple. The word and the thing connect directly. No translation in the middle. Leo had never built those direct connections in English. Every English word went through a bridge. The bridge was his native language. And every time he spoke, he had to cross that bridge. The good news is this: the bridge can be removed, not immediately, not completely overnight, but it can be shortened, and eventually, for most words, it disappears. Here is how. The first step is to stop using bilingual dictionaries when you look up an English word, and the dictionary gives you a translation. You are reinforcing the bridge, you are teaching your brain that English words need a native language partner to have meaning. Switch to an English-only dictionary. When you find a new word, read the English definition, read the English example sentences. Let the word find its meaning inside English. This is slower at first, but it builds direct connections. Word to meaning, no bridge. The second step is to think in English during small moments. Not big moments, not important conversations, small ones. When you wake up in the morning, describe your room in English in your head. When you are making coffee, narrate what you are doing in your head. When you are walking to work, describe what you see in your head. Nobody hears this. Nobody judges this. It is just you and English. These small moments train your brain to start in English, instead of starting in your native language and crossing the bridge. The third step is to feel English words instead of translating them. Here is what this means. When you hear the word exhausted, do not think of the translation. Think of the feeling: heavy eyelids, slow movements, the feeling of needing to sit down right now. When you hear frustrated, do not think of the translation. Think of the feeling: something is not working. You have tried 3 times. Your jaw is tight. When words are connected to feelings and images, not to translations, your brain can find them much faster. Leo tried these 3 things. The first week was strange. Thinking in English felt slow and unnatural. The English-only dictionary felt frustrating. Narrating his morning in his head felt ridiculous. He did it anyway. Something shifted in the 3rd week. He was making breakfast. He was thinking about his plans for the day, and he noticed. He was thinking in English, not translating, not crossing the bridge, just thinking. He stopped. He stood in his kitchen with a piece of bread in his hand. He tried to remember when he had switched. He could not remember. It had just happened, quietly, without announcement. 3 months later, Leo was in a conversation with a colleague. The conversation moved fast. His colleague asked him something unexpected. Leo answered, not slowly, not one step behind. He answered while the question was still fresh. He did not think about it afterward. The conversation continued and he forgot about it. But that evening he remembered. He had not translated. He had just answered in English like it was the natural thing to do, because by then it was. Here is what Leo learned. Translating in your head is not a language problem. It is a habit. A habit your brain built because that is how you were taught. Look up translation. Remember translation. Use translation to speak. That habit can be replaced, but only by building new connections. Word to meaning, thought to English, feeling to word, direct, no bridge. The bridge does not disappear all at once. Some words will always feel faster in your native language. Complex emotions, abstract ideas, things you have only ever discussed at home. That is normal. Fluent bilingual speakers still switch sometimes. The goal is not to erase your native language. The goal is to give English its own space in your brain, a space where words connect directly to meaning, where thoughts start in English, where you do not have to cross the bridge every time you want to say something. So here is where to start. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, before you pick up your phone, before you speak to anyone, spend 2 minutes describing your room in English, in your head, the ceiling, the light, how you feel. Do not translate, just describe. That is the beginning of thinking in English. Not a course, not a textbook, not a grammar rule. 2 minutes, your room tomorrow morning. That is where the bridge starts to get shorter.